I spent months creating big, ambitious projects and never actually finished them. And sure, I learned how to create basic scripts, but I didn't know what it took to release an entire game. I didn't know anything about time management, about good architecture, planning or marketing, and so many other necessary skills for game development. So could I even call myself a game developer? Now, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about useful things I learned when I created my first entire game was that you learn how to create better code. Like, if you are going to release a project, you actually need to write good code. You can't just create this spaghetti mess, because when you are in your later stages and you add like save data, for example, if your entire game is just a cluster of like dependencies and weird unreadable code, then adding save data is going to be impossible. It's going to take you like weeks and months. Maybe you just give up and you'll just want to create a new project, like a new prototype, like you've done before thousands of times, or maybe not thousands, but a lot of times at least. So you're forced to create good and readable code that's easy to change and easy to expand, which is a skill that you don't get from creating prototypes or small projects. Because when you're creating prototypes, you don't need the expandable and changeable code, because everything is easily in reach. You don't have all these systems that you need to manage or implement. While in a full game, it's the opposite. No matter how small your game is, you are going to need like a lot of systems to actually have a full playable version. Like, no matter how small your game is, you are going to have a save data system. You are going to have different UI pages. You're going to have different scenes. You're going to have like a currency system, which even in a small game can be complicated, because it's a lot of different systems that you need to like wire into each other and make work. So it forces you to become a better programmer. You write better code, which is expandable and easily changeable. And to actually do this, you benefit a lot from actually learning new coding features. Like, for example, in a small project, let's say, you aren't going to need like actions or events. Like, you just don't need them. You can just use references. Like, you don't need them. And also, I don't know if this applies to other game engines, but I assume it does. At least in Unity, you can just use references instead. But when you have a big project, learning what events and actions are is going to significantly benefit you. So you actually benefit from learning and becoming a better programmer. Whilst in small projects, you don't have the same incentive to actually learn and become better. You just need the things to work. And maybe something you don't learn, like maybe at all, on small prototypes and small unfinished projects is planning. And even if you do, planning on prototypes versus a full release are two completely different things. In a small prototype, maybe you plan out like the tasks you're going to do, but in a full release, you have to plan out everything. You have to plan out the different development stages. And planning is one of the most important skills for a solo game developer, because you are basically everything. You're the marketer, you're the graphic designer, you're the artist, you're the producer, like the sound effect guy, the level designer, you're everything. So planning is one of, if not the most important skill you can have. But you don't learn it effectively when you don't work on a full release. I want you to think about good planning like an investment into the future, like an investment into the future stages of your game. Like at the beginning, you might not get any like time management or like effectiveness, like much effectiveness boost from it, if you can call it that. But in the later stages, planning is seriously everything. If you didn't plan out the things leading up to the later stages of your game, then everything is very, very likely going to turn into a complete mess. So think of it like an investment. But it also makes you spend time on the most important things that actually move your project forward. Instead of spending time on polishing things and small useless tasks, planning actually gives you a direction that you have to follow, so you aren't just endlessly doing things that you feel like you want to do. You actually spend time on things that move your project forward. So to plan effectively, you should plan the result that you want to achieve when your game is finished, as well as what you need to implement to actually achieve that goal. Then you just split it up into different development stages and tasks. And planning also will improve your time management greatly. And time management is something that you'll benefit from in more ways than just game dev alone. Good and effective time management can save you days or if not even weeks in a full release. And not just that, it also gives you motivation because you get more done in less hours. And as we talked about before, you spend less time doing these useless small polishing things, and you can actually spend more time doing the things that move your project forward, which in turn gives you a great feeling of accomplishment and motivation to continue developing. And probably the best tip I can give you on time management is to just give yourself deadlines and specific times when you are going to work. And for me that was, for example, I work 2 hours every morning before I went to work. If you want to learn more about time management and other stuff just like this, first link in the description. I go into more detail there. Also, something interesting I learned when I released my game was marketing. And no, this isn't me saying that I learned marketing. Like, I am really bad at marketing or whatever that means, but I'm not a marketing genius, I wouldn't say. So I'm not saying I'm an expert at marketing, but what I learned from releasing my game was rather the importance of marketing. Now, if you market the game well, you'll get more people to play your game and you will also get more feedback. So the first one, you get more motivation because people actually play your game, which is a great and fantastic feeling as a game developer, like it's awesome. But also you gain feedback, so you actually become better. So you both learn a lot from it, like you learn a lot from getting feedback, by the way, as well as it's very fun to have other people play it. So marketing is really important, not just when you've released your game already, but even before you are releasing the game, like pre-launch marketing. So marketing is something you should do early and is also something that you should include in your planning. Now that's everything I had for this video. I really appreciate you watching and I hope you learned at least one thing from it. And remember, if you want to learn more stuff just like this and have direct contact with me, click the first link in the description. Now I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.